Hi, how are you? How are you? So, we're going to talk about brain resistance Zaps motivation. So I know many people, many moms in my community are asking, like, how do I motivate my teens, right? Well, we're going to learn about something that's really huge that stops that motivation and keep you like spinning in circles and not moving forward. Okay, so you've heard that fear is finding evidence that appears real, right? And have you ever had that big dream, and maybe you are leaving your job, and so that you can be home with your family, more often, and maybe you are going up the corporate ladder and have some other aspirations that you want to do for your job, right? Maybe it's being heard, like when you're speaking at home, you're being heard and that what you say is important, and you feel that you have a say-so in your family. Could be lots of different things that are going on. So our brain has a system that keeps us safe and familiar. Hi, I'm Jean Harville, and I'm a certified master neuro coach with the Unleashing Your Genius. And I'm also a master learning strategist. So I'm the go-to neuro leader for the Connected Mom Truth Method. And I help moms and their teens become unstuck and be finishers of whatever it is that they begin. And they discover that their truths about who they are and successfully move forward in whatever they want to achieve in life, like going from lost to becoming the unstoppable heart-connected mom leader in the family. All right, so if you are interested and want to continue finding these videos, make sure you click the like button on this video and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. All right, so let's move on, okay? We have a lot to cover. Okay, so there's so much pressure to fit in, and to do that right thing and to be in control, and sometimes you want to do something, your brain's like, no, that's not comfortable, that's not safe, so we're going to hold back just a little bit, but yet you keep wanting to move forward and you get stopped along the way. Has that ever happened to you? And it's like your brain is saying, no, you can't move forward. You'll seem like an imposter. And we don't want to feel like an imposter or seem like an imposter. Like that we want to actually be that mom that seems to have everything all together. And her kids and teens all listen to her. That perfect mom. Well, we know that perfect mom is not really out there, right? But that's who we strive towards. And our brain goes, no, we're not going to go that way. We're going to stop. Okay, I'm going to hold you back from that. So inside, your subconscious brain wants to keep you safe and familiar. That your brain wants you not to hit against resistance or have anything negative. Love your brain. Thank you, brain, right? And like, thank you. I have goals and I want to move forward and move forward in my career, move forward. So your brain sees anytime you do something different, anytime you want to move forward, it sees it as a threat. And it says, no, you're going to come on back here and be safe, right? Safe and familiar. So remembering that making decisions is hard for you. Your brain says, remember the last time you had a decision to make? It was tough. You had a hard time making that decision. So guess what? Let's just come on back and stay where we are. You don't want to look like an imposter. You don't want to look like somebody who can't ever move forward, and realize their dreams. So let's just play it safe. And maybe you've made some little micro steps towards that dream, but then you step back and retreat. Go forward, step back and retreat. And your brain looks for evidence that that there's a threat out there and finds evidence of other people that might judge you. Maybe at some point you were judged. Maybe when you were younger, when you were a young child, age 5 to 7, or when you were bullied in high school, or when you were a teen stepping out into the world, and somebody judged you. And so all of those instances of being judged pile up. And your brain is taking note of them. That's not a safe place to be out there because you might get judged. So what do? You're going to always stay in the same place, right? You say, thank you, brain. I've got this, right? So just think about, and none of this is your fault, because what happens is these messages are running in our brain from things that happened when we were younger and that we didn't have any control over. And so that's where we are, and that's why we get stuck. We get stuck. We're not motivated to do something because our brain is saying, no, that's hard. That's difficult. You don't want to be judged, right? So let's take a look at our teens, all right? So as you reflect back to when you were a teenager, getting ready to leave home, whether you're going to university or going out in the world to a job, maybe moving to an apartment, or whatever that step is after high school, what it was after high school, and you now are becoming a young adult, Was that easy? An easy transition? There's some fear out there. You had to start caring for yourself, start paying rent, studying, figuring out your schedule for the university. Like, there were a lot of questions that you had, and you didn't have the answers, and asking mom and dad was like, I don't know, I want to ask them because they're going to say, oh, you can figure it out. So you're finding the counselor on campus to help you. There's a lot of new and different scary steps that you had to take when you were leaving and at that young teen age and moving into the world. So just think about that. How did you manage and to, keep stepping out there and getting pushed back again? Fear of judgment, right? That just is hard, isn't it? It's really difficult. So stepping into responsibility, being responsible, that's tough. That's a lot. And so here comes the brain wanting to keep you safe. I'll keep you safe. Okay, so your brain, when you step out into do those little micro things and the brain's not used to it, it throws like a temper tantrum. It doesn't want you to be hurt. It doesn't want you to go to that new environment where it can't keep you safe, right? So fortunately, our brain begins wiring in that new pattern. The more we push out there, we start wiring in that new routine, and there's new decisions that need to be made, and soon you begin to feel comfortable. Your teen will begin to feel comfortable, but oh my goodness, until you get to that point, it's really tough. Like, your brain is throwing a temper tantrum. You cannot do that. I tell you, you cannot do that. And you say, thank you, brain, for keeping me safe. We are going to step out. So what happens is you're forming like that new habit, that new pattern. We talked a little bit about that in the last video, about creating those new habits, and sometimes they can be hard, hard to create those new habits because our brain just keeps pulling us back to keep us safe. So here's a true story from my childhood, first grade, right? And I would sit and I would yank out the hem of my skirts that my mom made these dresses, and she would hem up my dresses, and then I would rip them out, and she'd have to re-sew them. So she finally just sewed my hems in with the machine so I couldn't rip them out. But what would happen in first grade, every Friday, this happened generally I think it's like second semester, like after Christmas, I believe. And like every Friday, I would just, put my head down. I'd be upset, just overwhelmed with the amount of noise that was in the room and all the students wandering around, and the blackboards. I think they were whiteboards at that time. And there were markers on there and assignments, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I would just put my head down and I wouldn't feel good. And so the teacher would send me to the clinic, for me to get checked out because I felt warm, and sure enough, I would have a temperature, just a slight temperature, not very much. And my mom would be called and we would go home. And a couple of times she took me to the doctor to say, what's going on? Is she having maybe tonsil inflammation or something is going on? They could never find anything wrong. And about the fourth time, there were 4 Fridays in a row that this happened. On that last visit, my mom said, let's just go one more time. There's got to be something that's going on. And the doctor said, well, if this happens again, we'll have to take out her tonsils. I'm like, oh. My brain said, this isn't going to happen again because that's not a safe thing. Having your tonsils taken out? Forget that. So guess what? It never happened again. It was just so funny, you know. It's like, okay, I made it through, and I guess it was my brain saying, you know what, you're gonna deal with this, and we don't want to have our tonsil taken out because that doesn't feel like a safe thing. So you're going to make it through the day. All right. So you know, perhaps you've noticed there's a change in routine either for yourself or your teen. Maybe there's a lot of procrastination going on, perfectionism going on, your brain keeping you safe by keeping you spinning and not moving forward. And, you know, maybe there's for fear of looking like an imposter, that if you did move forward, you'd make a mistake, or you would appear to really not know what you're doing. And maybe you're not smart. And maybe you're feeling, I'm not so smart. And maybe you feel overwhelmed, maybe falling behind. You know, you're not feeling enough. And this feels real, you know, like I can't move forward. I don't know. I keep bumping up, or I keep redoing the same thing over and over again, making it perfect. Isn't perfectionism a bear? First you think, oh, I'll make this perfectly. But when you get into that cycle of perfectionism, you can't get out of it. You got to make every little tweak, a little change, and you're like, you know, it's not perfect. What am I going to do? And it can be aggravating, can it? So, you know, your brain keeps you in those places of that perfectionism or procrastination or I'm not good enough. And so those are the stories that are happening. And so you know, what happens is that motivation drops off. You're not motivated because you can't move forward. You can't make it perfect. You know, you give up. You say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not motivated to do this anymore. Motivation gets in there. So brain resistance zaps your motivation. If there is, you know, trying to figure out why you're not motivated to do whatever it is you're supposed to do, or why your teen is not motivated to do whatever he or she is supposed to be doing, look and see where the resistance is coming in. You know, are they keeping themselves spinning? You know, what exactly is going on that they can't move forward? There's brain resistance that's keeping them from becoming motivated to move forward. So that's a really big key. So what can we do as parents, right? So we can listen without judgment. We can hear their fear. We can accept the fear, accept what they're telling themselves. And because this really feels real for them, it's not, oh, no, you know, painting a rosy, you know, just push yourself forward, or you can do this. I know you can do this, but there's something really real that's holding them back. So, you know, be accepting of it and have them just talk to them and hear what it is. And then see if you can come up with or have them to think about, like, what are thoughts are coming through their head? What's keeping them spinning? What do they keep telling themselves? I'm not good enough. I'm whatever, you know, and kind of jot down those thoughts that are running through their heads, because those thoughts are what's keeping them from moving forward. So what is it that they're telling themselves? What are they saying? Then take each one of those thoughts and ask, you know, is this true? Is this true all of the time? And let's find evidence where this is not true. And maybe there's like something they did, I don't know, a while ago that they did a really excellent job on that. Point to that and say, this thought is not always true. It feels true, you know, but it really isn't true. And look and point to where they were able to be successful. Switch that thought around into a positive statement. And then that, you know, saying those thoughts over and over again can wire into their brain. Okay, that becomes their new way of their statements, like, I am capable of whatever it is. I am blah, 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 whatever it is, right? So I have a whole easy peasy simple system I'll be uncovering in September when I open up my Heart Connected Mom program. So look for that. I'm going to have several events along the way before then, leading up to that program, and be something in August, something September, and just keep watch of the Facebook group and keep watch of the Facebook page. and also keep watch on here on YouTube. And again, click the button below the, like the video and smash the red bell and subscribe so that every time I put up a video, you'll be notified of that. And I'm going to take you on this journey for the next, few videos, so that you can get a little bit better idea of neuroscience, the neuroscience of our brain, and the neuroscience that keeps us humming along, and it helps to explain what's going on in the brain. What are the blocks? What's holding us back? What are the resistance that's holding us back? And how can we break through those and get moving and get motivated, right? And get our motivation back. So anyway, like I said, I will talk to you all later, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. All right, bye.